You're listening to the 49 Carats podcast, a 49ers Goldmine production with Stephanie Sanchez.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the 49 Carats podcast. This is an exciting episode for me because I feel like this particular episode, this particular collaboration has been a long time coming, and I'm really excited that we finally are here to make it happen. I am joined by Football is Sexy CEO, creative founder, the head boss in charge, Monica Madrid. Monica, how you doing?
No, I am so excited because I've been watching you from afar and I'm like, I've got to talk to this woman. Like, I love everything you do. I am so excited to be here. So thank you for having me. First of all, your background is fire. Let's just get that out of the way. But no, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to talk to another woman about the love of our boys, the 49ers. Let's go. Dude, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness.
I love that. I think it's so important for me to be able to collaborate with other women because there are other women content creators out there in sports, in football, and we got to support each other. So that's another reason to love this collaboration. And 100. Monica, I mean, a lot of you probably know Monica from Football is Sexy. I mean, that is her major platform that she created. You see her Instagram page right here. 41,000 followers and counting. Yes. That is big. This is a big platform that you have created for women, to have a safe space to enjoy football and all things in between, right? So how did this kind of come about? Like, how long has it been since you've created Football is Sexy?
Yes. So I literally just started last season.
Really?
Literally, yes.
No way.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. It's a long story, but the short version is my dad was a diehard Niner fan. My dad had 40 season tickets to Candlestick since 1978. It's just his love for the game and the Niners just obviously trickled down to me. And I don't even know what it would be like to not be a football fan, let alone a diehard Niner fan. I sat in those seats, I think it was section 32, row 5, seats 7 and 8, my whole entire life until it was demolished. And my dad passed away of cancer the same year Candlestick was demolished. So it was just like an end of an era for me. And with that being said, I realized how much all of my memories were wrapped around the 49ers Candlestick with my dad. And I couldn't imagine what life would be without football and without my Niners. And so I couldn't go to a game for 2 years after he passed. And then in 2016, it was time to go to do what I love and go into Levi's. And I went in the opening game. And through that journey, like, I just really was like shocked that people weren't football fans. I was just like, how do you not love football? And then I decided to teach it. So in 2022, I had my first, I trademarked Football Sexy and decided to teach the game because I realized, like, if you didn't have someone like my dad or somebody in your family or close friend or whatever to teach you the game, like, where do you even begin? Yeah. And I looked into it and it was a nightmare to learn. Nightmare. But now the Football is Sexy mobile app is out. It's free. Let's go. And it's for avid fans and new fans. So it's the only app that actually teaches the game. There's 10 lessons. You can watch your ball go down the field. So, and then if you like, oh, I already know football, I don't need that app. Okay, well then take the trivia. There's trivia in there. A lot of my avid fans are like, oh, I thought I knew. And then I started getting these trivia questions. I'm like, I don't know as much as I thought I knew. And it was really important to me that every fan shows their fandom. So you can actually change the color of your app to your favorite team.
Nice.
And the glossary, the first of its kind, is also in there. So every single word that I could think of around football, I actually wrote the definition myself. because
Wow.
I also Googled some of these and I was like reading the definitions of like Audible. And as a fan, I was even more confused. So I'm like, I would never explain it that way. So I literally did every definition myself. I mean, there's just a ton of things. The pick'ems, Steph, I want to see you this year on the pick'ems.
We comes on the app too.
We got pick'ems in the app, and the top 100 gets shown every week. And I am so like competitive, and apparently so everybody else, because I've been getting screenshots all last year of like how many they got right. And you don't even have to know anything about football. Just click the helmet.
Right.
Like really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it all started with the love of the game and of course my Niners. And as a 49er fan, there's a lot of, obviously 49er content, but I am for all teams, all people on the Football Sexy page. And we really embrace women, but it's not exclusive to, and we embrace the LGBTQ plus community as well. There are a lot of gay men who love football, by the way. A lot of women that love football and women. And I feel like we're all in this place where we don't have a real place to like show our fandom and feel comfortable to do so, because you may have realized and in your own journey, which I'd love to hear, as soon as I go on and I start talking about the Niners on other pages, and these guys, not everybody, but these people see that I'm a woman, all of a sudden I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm a woman.
Right.
And you get killed. I have messages from people, several people, of like, I'm so glad you guys are here, Football is Sexy, because I don't get that kind of treatment on your page. I can talk, and you look at people are talking smack all day long on our page. I promise you that. The difference is it's respectful, and we don't go into because you're this gender or because you're that you don't know what you're talking about. You definitely have to still know your stuff if you're gonna, you know what I mean? Because as a football fan, you just have to have a freaking backbone. You just do.
It's facts.
You gotta be able to defend why we haven't won a Super Bowl in the last freaking 10 years. Like, right? Like, but
I don't know if I could defend that, but I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I have clapbacks. It depends what team.
Okay, I might have to take some notes.
Yeah. Oh, I got clapbacks for almost everybody team. The one you have to be prepared for, all the Dallas fans, you got to be ready. And we could teach
those are
class
easy
on this. Those are easy,
those
right?
Are easy.
Yeah. Seattle, it's like, please, like, talk to me when you're over 500. Like, you know what I mean? You just have to have like, you're ready to go. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, as I was scrolling through the Football is Sexy Instagram, you do see that it's not just about the 49ers. So it's open to all fandoms, all like football teams. And I also loved that you include and you featured a lot of, like I said, women content creators.
Yes.
And a lot of other women who are doing these videos and commentary on football. So that's awesome as well. I do really love that.
And girl, do you know how hard it is to let some of those comments and takes go? Because like Taryn, our cowboy girl, shout out to Taryn. She has a thing, the rivalry between the Niners and Dallas Cowboys. Like, there's nothing like it. I mean, I'm sure there is, but like, to me, there's just like nothing like it. Like, it's so part of like our journey, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's just part of our journey. The catch, by the way, that's the catch.
Okay.
And when she talks about the Niners and I have to approve it, I just take a deep breath and I'm like, oh, I got something for her next. I got something for her tomorrow. And so I call her Drake and I'm the Kendrick. Like, we just keep going back and forth. Feel free to step in, Steph. I need help.
You need backup.
Go.
Okay.
Yeah, we need backup.
All right, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Yeah, because like you got to show love to all teams, but every once in a while when I see the Cowboy stuff on there, I'm like, man, I know that was tough to post. I know it was.
It's tough. And then I got to go on my Monica Madrid page and comment, right? Because as Monica, I can comment, but as Football is Sexy, I just got to keep it cool. But Monica Madrid, right? Monica Madrid 49 got something to say. Yeah. Yeah.
And love it because we have you on the show to hear what you have to say. And I also want to point this out, right? Every woman, I think, or most women, not every, but most women who fall in love with the sport of football, it comes from either a father, a brother, just like a male figure in their lives, could be a best friend or something that has like shown them the game and like helped teach them. For me, it was my older brother. That's how I got into football and watching it and learning it as well. It's one of those things you do learn as you grow or as you watch more. I do love that Football is Sexy has courses that you can learn more, because I feel like even with me and a lot of people are probably like, Steph, come on, like you know a lot about football. But like I see other people who do football content and it's like, wow, like I didn't even know all this stuff. Like there's so many layers to football and
Right.
football knowledge
Right.
that I don't even feel like I know that much. I feel like I'm scratching the surface, and that's me, right? So
Right.
that's the crazy part of it. It's very humbling to like learn more about football and realize how much you don't know.
Oh, right.
And so I love that there's a space that you've created to learn more about it, because yeah, it is kind of difficult to take that next step of, okay, I know this much. Well, how do I know like more than that? Like
Right.
more than just like what they talk about and show on the broadcast kind of thing, like
Right.
surface level. So I love that and appreciate the work that you do. But let's get into our favorite team here, yeah?
I'm so excited to talk about the Niners because I always have to I get accused of having too much Niner content. And then I get, you know what I mean? So judging from your background and my background, I could
This
talk
is a
about the
safe
Niners.
space.
This is a safe
This
space.
is a
Let's
safe
go.
space. All
Let's
right.
go.
Well, so the first time that me and Monica met, like we've been in contact for some time now, because like we shot each other messages on Instagram and whatnot, and gave each other props for our content. But we didn't meet each other until Vegas Super Bowl, like just a
Right.
few months ago in person, right? So that was cool. It was cool to finally meet you. I didn't get to see you after the game, obviously. And did you go to the
Probably
game?
best.
I didn't go to the game, but did you go?
Yes, I don't know if you remember, but I was on the Kelly Clarkson show, and Jerry Rice and NFL and Crucial Catch, they surprised me with Super Bowl tickets. Like
Oh
literally
man.
surprised me. I was gone the next day and I was like, "Wait, what?" Um it was a whirlwind. So yes, I was there and I went
Okay.
to the game.
That's amazing. That's amazing that you were able to go have that experience. Not probably not the outcome you wanted, obviously. But I gotta ask you about this, because I believe you did a live on Football is Sexy after the Super Bowl, and you were smoking a cigar, and like you let the
Yeah.
loss kind of roll off your back a little bit.
Oh,
Tell me what was going through your head, because like I was broken. Like I'm even gonna lie to you, like some people who are regulars on this show, I went live after the game when I got back to the Airbnb, and I was like, I broke down. Actual
oh,
tears.
oh,
um
please.
and I saw your live and I was like, damn, like she's handling this very well, like great for her. But I need the story. Tell me the story behind that.
Okay.
There's got to be more to it.
And you're the first to get the exclusive. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Because I actually have not talked to anybody really in depth about what I went through that day and what I'm still processing. And
Yes.
I will tell you that I was in the stands with my best friend who I've been taking to Niner games. I made her a Niner fan. I made her a football fan. She will give me credit for that. Um And when I got the tickets, I had to take my BFF, who we used to drive to Candlestick Stadium from Orange County, 5.5 hours every way, and do a turnaround trip. So she was my girl. So we went. And I'll just tell you, I was just so excited. But when we missed, I think it was the field goal that we missed first.
Mhm.
I think it was a field goal. It's been a minute. I remember I looked at my friend, shout out to Sonia, and I just, as a fan, we don't ever want to say stuff. We don't want to jinx it,
Yeah.
right? But there's this gut thing we have going on. And I looked at her and I'm like, that's going to be trouble. Like, that's going to be bad. And I knew then, I can't say I knew we were going to lose because I never ever give up. but I just, in my gut, I just knew that was going to come back to haunt us because the game was not a high scoring game.
Right.
To put points on the board during that Super Bowl was not easy. And those 3 points, and our kicker was new. I just like, this is not good. And when we can talk about the overtime, but when we actually ended up, I can't even say the words, when the final score was the final score, 2 things happened. I was brokenhearted. I was mad. I will tell you this. I literally looked at my BF. As soon as the whistle was done, we're out of here. Like, I was not going to stay. I was not going to stay for a single freaking confetti. Like, I'm out before I'm not going to see it. I don't want to see it. I was just, no. And then my BFF goes, "What are you going to say?" And I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "People are waiting to hear from you on Instagram." And I'm like, "Oh my God." And I looked at her and I'm like, I need a minute. She goes, "Well, good thing." Cause I wasn't going to do it walking out. Cause it was just like, you would have never heard me. It was just crazy. So the good news is I had time to gather my thoughts as the CEO and founder of Football is Sexy versus Monica Madrid. And so I was like, okay, I have to think about this from a Football is Sexy point of view, and I have to give props, which I did. And I did talk about it a little bit, but Monica Madrid, after she went live and had the cigar, just was like in tears. And it makes me emotional now because it was just, and I was heartbroken, not only for and you guys get this, it's wrapped around my dad. It's wrapped around years. But I felt for the players, man. I felt for George Kittle.
Same.
I felt for Debo. I felt for Kyle. Like, how bad that, and I haven't never met any of these players, by the way, right?
Yeah.
But you feel like you're in the trenches with your boys, man. And I actually know a couple family members of the players, and I felt for her. I just knew the wives, Kristen and Claire, and it was just, so I did feel it, but I did the CEO founder thing, and then Monica Madrid and then the next day I was mad, because now I'm seeing all the holds. Sorry, gonna call it how I see it. Then I'm seeing all the holds. Then I'm just seeing some things we could have done better that I wish Kyle would have done differently, right? But oh, and then of course I'm not watching a damn thing for 2-3 weeks, 4. I was gonna try to rewatch the Super Bowl because when you're at you want to rewatch it. I was like, I can't, and I still to this day I have not replayed it, not one down. I won't do it.
I haven't even rewatched the 2020, 2019 one.
No,
either.
None of them.
And I won't.
No,
it just hurts. It hurts. It hurts too much.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
But Monica, I feel that though, because for me, that was the exact same thought I had. Yes, I was gutted as a fan of the team, but for some reason, my mind kept going to the players. I don't know why. I that's just the human thing, right? You want to find that connection to them. They experienced it. They lived that moment. We had just as viewers, right? They actually played in that game and all that. So to kind of pivot to the team in this current team, right? Some of those players that experienced that had experienced the 2019 Super Bowl loss as well. And in the run up to the Super Bowl, we saw so many, particularly George Kittle, right? I will be back with a vengeance. That clip was everywhere.
Yeah.
And after, what happened in this last Super Bowl, guys like Debo, Bosa, Warner, Kittle, all those guys, it feels like 10 times worse probably, because you know what it feels like now to be so close twice and not get it done. Do you worry about, I guess, like the mental hurdle, especially for those guys? Like when Kittle was talking about the Super Bowl, like not even, it was like maybe a month ago, like because he was up on in a presser after one of the practices talking about it, and he just like there was just something not. It was just something different about him. You know, Kittle is usually like super bright all the time. Even something bad, he'll find a joke in there, squeeze it in. And I didn't get that sense from Kittle this time, right? Which to me, I'm like, damn, my man's hurt. You know, like this one hit different.
Right.
So like, are you worried about the mental hurdle of like experiencing that, having lived it, having like played it, and then having to find, you know, that motivation or that same level of we can do this again, right?
Right.
That's my kind of worry.
Right. Well, I think that I would say thank God we did have some time. Right? We have 6 months practically. I think it's going to fuel their fire even more. But I do think that one hurt more than any. And I can't speak for anybody because it just everything lined up. Like everything lined up. Like you didn't even have to play not more than like a couple hours from your home. Like you're in Vegas. Like, you know what I mean? Like even just the little things, everything lined up where we just should have won it. And I just can't imagine the sleepless nights of like what we could have done different. So I think this year we're going to have to dig deep, man. Hey, if I was a freaking coach, I'll tell you right now, I'd be like, and I've called this out last year. I was like, okay, the Kittles, Claire and George, I would really like you to have your country nights. And they probably already doing this, probably already did it for all I know. But like, I wasn't invited. So how would I know? But like, I feel like the whole team needs to go to the Kittles Ranch in Tennessee. And there needs to be like a weekend, a weekday. I mean, a week, like a day where you just all bond the entire team and just like do what you need to do to get it out about last year. Maybe bring in a hypnotherapist. I don't know. Get that shit out your mind from last year. And it is clean the slate and let's go. But do I worry about it? I don't. I think by the time we're kickoff on that Monday night versus Aaron Rodgers, the adrenaline is going to be so hot that I think it's going to bring it all right back. And I'm actually glad we're playing someone like the Jets and the Aaron Rodgers for the first game to kick it off. I'm glad
that'll get the juices flowing.
The juices flowing. I'm glad. Sorry that we're not playing the Arizona Cardinals. You know what I mean? Like nobody cares. Sorry, I'm gonna get
even Steelers like last year. I was like, that's our week one, really.
And this is where I'm going to get in trouble, but hey, I'm here as, you know, Monica and football sexy. Exactly. So I'm going to say it as I feel it, you know? Yeah.
There you go. Shout out Corey for the donation. He says, I won't ever doubt this roster because of what they've proven, but I just have a gut feeling it all catches up to them this year. That really seemed like their best chance together. Oh man. Yeah, I mean,
He's not wrong.
It definitely does feel that way, right? Like after the Super Bowl, team lost Eric Armstead in the fashion that they did, you know, having to let him go and, you know, just being the cap casualty, I guess. Like writing's been on the wall. Like we know this roster and this core is, you know, their time is expiring as a group, right? So I think
2024, like that's
the
thing.
Yeah.
This has to be our year. Like there are no ifs, ands, or buts. We have the best roster. I feel very comfortable in saying that. We have the best roster right now in the league, real close to the Chiefs. But I even give us even a little bit better, even though they won. I'm just saying,
absolutely
as a roster,
better than the Chiefs roster. Yes,
we have the best roster.
Yes,
so
hands down.
And hashtag this on my freaking forehead every year. Hashtag if we stay healthy, okay? If my boys stay healthy and someone's going to go down, we already know. Like it just is what it is. But if our key players can stay healthy, there is absolutely no reason why we can't bring home number 6. And I think that's why this Brandon Ayuk thing is becoming such a thing around the 49er base.
But when you also talk about like everything kind of aligned in 2023, what are the chances that things align like that nicely in 2024 with like injuries? Like, yeah, I think we know 2023 was a pretty good year in terms of injury luck for the 49ers. I understand there were some injuries suffered in the Super Bowl that, probably you could say impacted the outcome of the game. Like those are big, right?
I believe
as
that
a whole,
the Greenlaw, I believe that
huge.
everybody talks about everything else, the overtime and all that, but I really believe the Greenlaw thing is what hurt us the most, because that's when Travis Kelce started getting open more than ever. If you look back at the tape, when Greenlaw went down, mind you, doing nothing, it's like literally walking onto the field. Like, what are the chances of that? I really think that Travis, the defense is going to be like, oh, Greenlaw's out, we're going to go in the middle all day long. You know what I mean? They saw it and they capitalized on it.
Well, I think about the mental hurdle of that too, because as someone earlier put, Invader 49er put, like, when Greenlaw got hurt, I knew deep down in my heart it was over at that moment. What do you think the players were thinking? You try to avoid a thought like that, obviously, and you're playing and you still want to have some belief, but like a guy that big to the defense and the energy that he brings, like that is gutting. Huge. That is really gutting. So like a part of me does feel like even just that, like, because things started to slowly unravel for the defense. They were on the field a little bit longer, so that impacted, I think, a lot of things to me. But shout out my brother. He is here in the chat checking this out. He loves the collaboration, he said. But
thank you. How sexy, two women talking the Niners, the sexiest team in the league. Come on.
Yes, there we go. But like, since we were on the topic of like Last Dance, right? Like, 2023 was their last chance. Oh, it might actually be 2024. Law of Awe in the comments says, not so fast, not with Brock's ascendance. We may have some rugs who may prove otherwise as well. So like, to this user's point, they could extend that window. Like, I mean, we know Brock's no slouch. Like, he's very talented. I think what we're all worried about though is what his mega contract is going to mean for like team building, beyond 2024, right? I think we know that's going to be more challenging. So when you talk about, best roster in the league, 2023, definitely in 2024 as well. What is the roster going to look like in 2025? Might not be the best roster in the league. That doesn't mean like they can't do it, right?
Right.
But it just might look a little different. Might be a little tougher. There might be more on Brock's shoulders, So what are your thoughts on that? Like, could Brock extend the window?
Absolutely. And here's the thing. I think John Lynch, Kyle, the organization has done a great job in taking care of their people. First of all, we take care of our people. We draft them and then we take care of them. And that I love about our team, right? We definitely are building for not this year going all in. Actually, to take Jerry Jones's words, we are all in, I think, this year, but we're also smart enough to prepare for the following year. And that's why the Niners, regardless of the Super Bowl wins or losses recently, we're always in the conversation, because we always are in the conversation, right? Because we're getting the wins to be in the conversation. Like, that's why people last year, they're like, oh, Monica's always like talking football sexy, and the Niners is always the Niners. I'm like, I'm sorry, but we're a contender team. So it's not, it's just like a coinky dink that I happen to be a Niner fan, but we have the best running back. We have the best tight end, one of the best. Okay, I can hear you guys. But we have George Kittle. We have superstars all around our team. So we are going to be talked about a lot more than other teams. It just is what it is. But I think we're building for the future. I think I always talk about it like the 8 ball, like when you play pool, right? The amateurs, they just go the white ball to get your one stripe or the solid ball, but they don't think about where you're going to put the white ball for the second shot, right? And I think that our organization does a great job of going, where are we going to put that white ball for the next season, right? So I love what we've done so far. I think it's the best move. I love that they went all in on CMC. I mean, he's just brought so much to our organization. I'm excited, and trust me, I know it's going to be tough mentally, I think, on our boys, but I hope that they're doing whatever they need to do mentally, whatever that is. I know that George and Claire and Kristen and Kyle and CMC and Olivia, they all went immediately on a vacation right after the Super Bowl. Like, I hope they do whatever they need to do to get their bodies right, to get their mental right, because no pressure, but us fans, we believe in you guys. We believe in you guys 100%.
Yeah. And you got George Kittle in Nashville right now with Claire and a bunch of other guys, with the Tight End University.
Yeah, I love it.
I like that too, that it happens like this time of the year, because I think it that's like one thing that, could probably get George, even a sad George after, the Super Bowl loss, like could get him back into the swing of things. So I do love to see that. Invader 49er here says we'll always be in the mix every year with Shanahan and Purdy. There's always people who criticize Shanahan and just like how he's not able to get the job done, right? And to me, I still see him as like this young coach. And not to say that young coaches can't win the big one, right? Like we've seen that, but I do feel like it's an inexperience factor for Shanahan a little bit. I do still believe, like, if there's any chance this team has to make the Super Bowl with a current like allotment of coaches that are out there, except for like Andy Reid, obviously, like that, you put Andy Reid on the 49ers. Yeah, they could probably win the Super Bowl. But like, other than that, like I have the most faith in Shanahan still to get this team over the hump. Have you lost any faith at all in that?
That is a great question. And I'm going to be honest, because I'm always honest, right?
We want that.
Swear, I have no idea what it is, but like, I feel like Kyle needs to do something that is completely not football oriented, whether something needs to be lifted, because I feel when those big games comes that there's a something there that maybe he almost out coaches himself sometimes, because he knows.
I do agree with that.
You get what I'm saying? Like, and Kyle, I love you. If you're seeing this, I love all my boys. Please know that I love you guys. Don't be getting mad at me now. But like, I feel like when it's the big games, there's that mental component where all eyes are on you. You want to make the right decision, and you can outthink yourself sometimes.
Exactly.
And
I think that too.
I feel that sometimes.
I think that too, because like I feel like in competitive situations, I'm somewhat the same way. Obviously it's a different scale of competitiveness competing in the Super Bowl and these big games, but like I understand how like overthinking something, you're actually like taking 2 steps back, right? Yeah. And so I definitely think that as well. I guess like the biggest thing with Kyle is like, I hope at some point he realizes that about himself and can, say, hey, whoa, wait.
No, go to a hypnotherapist, do what you got to do.
All the holistic things.
Go to a therapist, use the rocks, the crystals, do whatever you need to do, Kyle. Shake that shit off and let's go. And by the way, had the entire 49er bench or team had Monica's Football is Sexy mobile app, which is free, and they were in the glossary, and they would have Googled what happens after double overtime.
Damn.
You would have had the answer right there. I'm just saying.
Damn.
But
you put them on blast.
Is that harsh?
You put them on blast. Can't be mad at it.
No, and you know what? Well, that was part of what I think he might have outthought himself, because what he said, his His words were, because if it was to go into another overtime, we would get the ball. He said something to that.
He's thinking like 2 ahead.
Right.
Like,
and I was like, wait, can we just think about how do we win right now? How do we win right now and worry about that in a minute?
Yes.
Like, and that
That's
is
a
the
good
one
point.
thing that I'm sure, hey, I could never know what that feeling is like, to know that there's millions, the entire world is watching your every move, knowing that nobody wants it more than you, right? Regardless of us fans, the Niners, your owners, like, you want it more than anybody else could want it, and it's a big stage to be on. So I do understand that those they're quick decisions. You don't have hours to think about it, or you might have a minute or two, but hey, even that, we had plenty of time. We had plenty of other ways that we could have won that game, and that's, I think, what hurts the most. We had other opportunities. And that's why I was so mad the next day. I saw how open Brandon Ayuk was actually in the end zone, right? So who do you put that on? Do you put it on Brock? Who do you put it on? Like, I just feel like everybody had that one little moment that they could have maybe changed the game, but we win as a team, we lose as a team. It's just that simple.
Yeah, exactly. Here's an idea. How about we like put the Super Bowl behind us?
Please.
Yeah,
now I need a drink.
This has been a great therapy session, though. I haven't talked about the Super Bowl in quite some time, so this was actually kind of nice in a way.
Yeah.
But I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. Now, obviously, like, the 49ers have made some changes this offseason, as happens like every offseason with every team. But, we talk about the window that the 49ers have. They want to sustain that and apply kind of what they had in 2023 and try to see if they can make it better in 2024. With the moves that they made this offseason, I kind of feel like a point of emphasis was get a little healthier in some areas. Like, some of the free agents they brought in, like, they're pretty healthy guys for the most part. And then also, I think, like, getting younger as well. Even the rookies they brought in, I feel like there's a plan for the rookies. You're not seeing a bunch of like developmental guys, that, oh, he's raw. He needs 3 years to develop. We can't say what he is for sure right now. We didn't see any of that in the draft picks that the 49ers drafted this year. Out of all the newcomers that the 49ers brought in this offseason, whether it be free agency, there were a couple of trades, or maybe, there's just the one trade, actually, Malik Collins, or from the draft. Who are you most looking forward to seeing in 2024 and their impact on this team?
Well, I have to say that I was really happy to see Juwan Jennings get his extension. For several reasons. I just think that he's taken his game to the next level. And he had some clutch plays. Third and Juwan.
Dude was about to be, not to mention it again, but he was about to be Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
For being honest.
And so with that being said, I'm really excited to see what Slick Rick's gonna do. I don't know how many snaps he's gonna get. I don't know how many targets he's gonna get, but I just think he fits us very well. He's cute, he can play, and he's got a little swag to him. And I just feel aura. Like he's got that extra something, and if he can translate that on the field, I think it's going to be an exciting time. Now we I don't know if we're going to go there with the Brandon Ayuk thing, but that pick, now mind you, I was at the NFL draft in the inner circle, by the way, with the Niners fans. So I was there at the draft in Detroit, and so all of the inner circle Niner fans were like, who do you think we're going to take? I think we had pick 31, right? And I was like, everybody was guessing cornerback. We were more on the defensive side.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And I think we all looked at each other like, wow, they just drafted a wide receiver. But I looked at my boys and I was like, okay, because I'm all about conspiracy theories and like thinking, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I think it said a lot. I think the fact that the Niners took a wide receiver in the climate that we are in, with the Debo and the Brandon Ayuk, it made me wonder what they were thinking, if that makes sense.
What do you think they were thinking?
I could be wrong because
we're speculating here. Putting our tinfoil hat on.
I took it like this, and everybody could take it different, but I took it like, okay, they're saying we're not going to be held hostage by a certain by any position. And I think that we have a quality problem. We have two amazing wide receivers that have literally helped take us to this level. Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. And even, those are the two that we've had the longest, right? And now we have a cap issue, And so I think they had to prepare for what ifs. I think when they've drafted another wide receiver, I think they were preparing for the what if we can't keep everybody. Right. And so that one surprised me because I really thought we were going to go with like a corner. I thought we were going to fill some holes there. And we ended up doing that, but not as early as we thought. Most of us thought, so I'm excited to see what goes down. I would love it for Brandon to stay. I really would. That seems to be a controversial issue. So, but I think, no matter what, we have him for this year and we'll see what happens. But to keep our core guys and to go, win number 6, I will cry my eyes out. I'm telling you right now.
I will be insufferable.
Oh my, when we win, I'm going to cry my eyes out. Like I'm going to
how many cigars? Woo! How many cigars are you smoking?
Oh, at least 4. 4 hours of Cubans.
Jesus Christ.
Just maybe 3. I don't know. Yeah. Are you ready for this shit? Are we going to go through this again?
Man.
Woo!
They reel me back in. You always say to yourself after like these heartbreaking losses, you're always like, I'm never going to be that invested again. Ever. There's no way I can do that again. I'm not going to do it. And then they reel me back in. They make you believe, Well, so I think it's going to be a fun season.
I never thought I'd feel as bad as I did in 2012 with my father in Candlestick playoffs, Minnesota Vikings, and the Niners. I'm sorry, not the Minnesota Vikings, the Giants. 2012, sitting in our seats. My dad was already diagnosed with cancer. And we looked like we were going to win the game. But I looked at my dad and I'm like, you know how you always like, don't jinx it. You tell people to like stop around you. I was like, don't jinx it. I want to just, because again, I had a gut feeling. And sure enough, there was only like a few minutes left and we kick it off. The Giants kick it off and we get all he had to do was catch the ball.
That's it.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know. Are you kidding me?
God. I was right there, Steph. I was right there. And I'm like, on my dad's life, I swear to you, I had told my dad he had fumbled earlier. And I said, Dad, they need to take him out. I told him we need to take him out. He looks nervous. And my dad looks, he goes, I can't believe you called it. And I'm like, he looks nervous. We got to take him out. And sure enough, they kept him in. The fumble happened and the Giants went on to the Super Bowl. And I was disgusted. And it was the longest ride home with my dad ever. I never thought I could. That one really, really hurt. But the Super Bowl in person, that it trumped that for sure.
Oh yeah. That's just
no doubt.
A bigger game.
Yeah.
And you're at least, Wait, did you say where was that game? That was in Candlestick, right?
Yeah,
Or that was
Candlestick.
at home. So at least like in a loss like that, like you have other fans, like you're all experiencing the same thing. So like you can find some solace in that.
Right.
At the Super Bowl, it's like you got fans of the Chiefs there as well, and they're gonna celebrate in your face.
I was
like,
out.
yeah.
I will have to
I
say this though. I will have to say this. Walking out of the stadium, I will absolutely say that all of the fans, Niners and Chiefs, were where I was at least, were so respectful and cool.
yeah, they.
Even in the
I just didn't want to
casino.
see them.
No, me neither. Trust me. But even in the casino, when I was just like, just finished my live, most people were like, because you're gonna fight, like tensions are high, so don't get crazy. Like I'm
Like
cool,
if someone says the wrong thing, like
it's over.
something's going down.
Oh yeah, I'm like, and you're just all you're thinking is don't, right? Don't try me because I'm cool right now. But that one person who's gonna say that one thing, you're like, I hope it ain't me. I hope it ain't me. So I got out of there with out of fight, just a couple cigars and some tears.
All right. Well, yeah. Glad you didn't have to mess anyone up out there. End up on the news or something.
Yeah,
but look. Okay, we were just talking about Brandon Ayuk, right? Because you mentioned Ricky Pearsall. We're excited about that. We sense there are some writings on the wall already about what this 49ers wide receiver room is going to look like. For this last topic, I mean, obviously, Brandon Ayuk, like this is still going on, these negotiations, as most 49ers negotiations do at this time of the year, right?
Yeah.
Do you get, you're not worried at all, are you? Like, you still think this is going to get done?
That is a great question. I do think that the Niners want to keep Brandon Ayuk.
Mm-hmm.
They want to keep him. But I also think they have sent a clear message what that number is, though. And I don't know that they're going to go much more than what they've offered. Now, I know Brandon is worth a lot of money. I think 26 million is fair. Maybe throw in some incentives. But I think that the Niners at some point are going to have to put their foot down. There's going to be a what do you call it? Drawn in the sand. Line. Yeah, there's going to be a line drawn in the sand. And I think there's a number there that they're not going to go over. And it could be the 26 million. I don't know. Because again, here's the difference. Like you have your Justin Jeffersons of the world, right? But they don't have Kittle. They don't have Kyle Juszczyk. They don't have Deebo Samuel. They don't have CMC, the best running back in the league. So those numbers, when you carry an entire offense, can be a little bit different. The difference with our team is we don't have a dog. We got dogs.
We got a whole pack.
We got a S at the end of that, like dogs. And so we don't have our offense on one person's shoulder, right? So when, Kittle's having a killer game and Deebo's not, we're still, as fans and as an organization, we're like, okay, so we're going to give it to this person. We have several weapons. And so I think that the money that they've offered Brandon is based off of a lot of things. And I think it's based off of, we love you. You're our guy. We drafted you. When you draft these guys, we take time to develop you. We don't want you to go anywhere else.
Right. Yep.
We took time to make you better. We're invested. And I've said it before. Remember when, he was young. He made some rookie mistakes, but he has proven to be a top talent in not only on the 49ers, but in the league. And we know that. But my hope is that Brandon will see that we're a team that cares about him, that wants him on the team, but work with us. I think that's what the Niners are saying, or work with us,
Yeah.
and stay on a Super Bowl contending team and help us go win number 6. And if I'm, Brandon's agent, I say, take the deal. Let's see if we can get some Super Bowl incentives and let's go. And let's get this 6 grain. And for the 3 million that you want, that you're fighting over, go get it from your sponsors right after we win the Super Bowl. Like, let's go. Right? Because and I always say this, Steph, like, are you going to be rocking in your chair at 98 thinking about the extra 3 million, or are you going to be thinking about the ring? That childhood dream. Get that ring. Stay with your boys. Stay with the Niners. Let's go. Ayuk is on fire. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. I want to talk to his agent because like a lot of times it's the freaking agent. Let's be honest.
Yeah, like they got to play hardball too, because is their reputation not on the line, but like, they want to make themselves look good as well. So I get it. There's a lot of parties with different interests here, but they all do share the same interest at the same time, which is, getting a deal. So I agree with you. I think the 49ers are stuck. Well, not stuck, but like they have their number. They don't want to move off of it. They have no reason to move off of it, if we're being honest, right? And I think they're calling Brandon Ayuk's bluff. But I also don't think I think if Brandon Ayuk takes this to like the start of training camp or in training camp, you might get a softer 49ers. I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll see what happens.
What do you think, Steph? How do you feel about the whole unfollowing of your team, scratching out all the Niner stuff? Does that bother you as a fan?
Nah, that stuff is just like nothing happens on social media. Like that's just tomfoolery to me. I'm always
if you were Kyle, you just like when he comes back in the locker room and all that, you're like whatever, it's cool.
Yeah, Monica, I'm still smoking a cigar. Like, to to put it in your terms, or what you would do, I'd smoke a cigar. That's what I would do. Like, okay. I wouldn't be worried about it, because like what I say about those things, and I know it's annoying, or like, as a fan, you see those things and you're like, oh my God, like another video. Like I'm tired of this stuff. Let's just get this done. Like, yeah. But I just see it as like no negotiations happen on social media, and
we didn't even know about CMC. I mean, we heard the rumblings. All of a sudden, he just got an extension. I was like, oh, it was quiet. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's the same thing. It's very similar to the Debo situation, right? There was all that like drama as well that was very public, but at the end of the day, the deal got done, and we look at that now and we laugh, just like I thought we would, right? And so I see the same outcome with Brandon Ayuk. I say it's a 70-30 split. 70 he gets his deal, 30 he plays on his 5th-year option. But like you said earlier in the show, he's a Niner in 2024 regardless, whether he likes it or not. You know what I mean? So I like that situation. 70-30, whichever one happens, I'm okay with, because I think at the end of the day, the deal will get done.
Well, and can't we just like Debo signed for like 3 years, and it ended up being like what, I think 23 million a year, like it was in the 70 million range, wasn't it? I think so. But my point is, like, couldn't we just extend him, give him a minute to like, so he feels good and excited about the 2024 season, because it's a mental thing too, right? We want him to be at his best. We want him to be at his best. We don't want to come in. We don't want to sign him too late. Look what happened when Bosa signed too late, in my opinion, and it affected his year. I think even he would agree to that. We didn't have as many sacks from him. He got a late start. Obviously, he still did his thing, but like, I would like to see this resolved sooner than later. And if not, isn't there a way we could just be like, okay, let's just find a way to work together this year, and and like you help us get this 6 ring and put some heavy incentives in there. Because I don't want to see a disgruntled wide receiver out there either.
Yeah. I mean, if Brandon Ayuk plays on the 5th-year option, you have Debo and Brandon Ayuk basically playing for their next contract.
Yeah.
Which could be good, but like it could also be like very tension ridden, especially if like one guy isn't getting as many targets as the other, you know, like you
Well,
don't
then
want that.
But even then, but now you kind of have, and I'm not saying that they would do this, but then you have that thing where it's all about me because I don't know where I'm going to be next year. So,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
not as much as a team. Like when you know you're on a team for a couple years, like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like it can create some unsettledness. And I want to see everybody gel. I want everybody at the Kittles. I want to feel this. You know what I mean? This kumbaya type of vibe. I want us to be locked in. Do whatever you guys got to do to shake off last year. And hey, I hate to say it, but like, I really believe like we could do it again. I mean, I really do believe that. I really do believe that we have the roster, and if we can just get our mental capacity wrapped around a new year and not look back, I feel like number 6 is just around the corner.
I pray. I pray. But Monica, I think that's like the perfect way to end the show. This has been a freaking blast. Like, we got to do this again. I'm
Can we
100%
do it?
serious. We got to
Yes.
do it again.
Okay.
And yeah, and anytime you want me on Football is Sexy,
Absolutely.
like, because you guys have podcasts too, right? Like, you
Yes,
got your own.
absolutely. Yeah,
So,
we're gonna start.
Yeah, let
this
the
season.
people know. Let the people know where they could find all the Football is Sexy content, all the podcasts, everything that you guys put out.
Yeah, Football is Sexy on all social medias, but our biggest platform is Instagram. Our podcast will be and are in our free mobile app, Football is Sexy. Make sure you download it. Download the app. It's everything in football. By the way, there's breaking news in there as well. Like everything in one app in regards to football is in that app, whether you're an avid fan or a newer fan, it is for you. Make sure you download it. Tell everybody about it. And we are going to have a blast this year, Steph. And I invite you to collab with the page and make sure you get on some. Let Taryn know who we are, all right? Because I get tired of putting her in check all by myself.
Yeah, I'll join you. I'll join you in the trash talk in there. Don't worry about it.
Shout out to all the women that collaborate with us. We got Dee from the Steelers, JoJo for Kansas City. She does our little Taylor Swift / Chiefs, segment. So we're building that base. And to any women out there that want to talk football, please tag us in your stories and let's go. And thanks to all the men who follow us and respect us and show us love, because that's what it's about. And to my the LGBTQ as well. I love my gay Niner fans out there and football fans, of course. So Steph, I'm so excited. Let's go. It's only like 11 Mondays away.
Wow. Yeah, you got the countdown going. I love that.
Yes.
11 Mondays away. I cannot wait. I'm going to be locked in. They're going to reel me back in. I'm already like slowly like making my way, into that locked in mode. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, we're definitely going to be collaborating again. So guys, like, don't worry about that. Monica, there were people like asking me to collab with you. Like,
what?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
yes.
that makes me so happy. You have no idea, because I'm out here, and sometimes, as a woman, sometimes you just don't get those opportunities. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
And that's why Football is Sexy was created, so that we could show our fandom, be respected for our knowledge and passion. And that is what I'm here for. And it's not just me. There's people like you. And that's why when I saw you, I'm like, oh, that's my girl. Like, thank you for doing what you do, because you inspired me to keep going when I saw what you were doing. And I'm hoping that more women will do what we are doing in regards to their team. And let's show the world that we're here. We've always been here, and we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere.
Let's go. All right, everyone. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. And like Monica said, Football is Sexy app, Football is Sexy on Instagram. Make sure you follow that. But for now, have a good rest of your evening, folks. Peace.